campers? Thanks again for joining us for another episode of Camp Cryptid. I am your host, Erica Fett, and today I'm joined for our Thanksgiving episode by a very, very special friend of mine, Fraser, Mutch, and you guys might know him as Elite Online Mag on social media, Instagram, Twitter, huge following everywhere. So this is someone who has been a close friend of mine, I'd say, for almost a decade now.
Yeah.
It's been a while. So I really wanted to have him on and talk about some cool Scottish ghouls and ghosts and phantoms, as well as some English ghosts and ghouls and phantoms, because I love visiting over there and we've become friends, and he's over there and I'm like, you have all the inside information for all the spooky stuff. So here's my guest, Fraser.
Yeah, hello. You might not understand me because I'm from the northeast of England, so I've got a bit of a twang, but yeah, we've met a long time ago, didn't we? And it's kind of flourished since then, and
yeah,
we've travelled a lot together. I've been to your side of the pond, and you've been to my side of the pond. I know your last guest, Neptune, as well. We've travelled together as well, so we're quite a close-knit group. So yeah, it's I'm excited to talk about stuff.
Yeah, so I would say one of the more recent trips that we made was Miami, and although it's not full of a lot of spooky stuff, I would say the airport is a horror show in itself. So that is...
That's the scariest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, but aside from that, we've done some really cool spooky things together. So last month, Neptune was on and we talked about our spooky experience that we had in Edinburgh, and that was a trip that we'd actually taken with Fraser. So
yeah, it was. I didn't even know about all of the spooky things that happened until 6 months later when you told me, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "I would have been lucky enough. I wasn't staying in the same place. We were in a different Airbnb."
Yeah,
but I don't think I would have been as happy to stay as long after that. Yeah, it was crazy.
And then, so we did that, and that was really crazy because I feel like we've gone to Edinburgh a couple times now together. I feel like
twice.
Yeah, so it's all these spooky trips. And then we went to a dinner theater at a castle one time.
Oh, yes, that was in Durham. So that's where a lot of Harry Potter was filmed, etc.
Yeah.
So we went to a medieval banquet.
Yes.
We had pork off the bone and things like that. It was
a proper medieval times,
it was crazy.
Really.
And they were jousting and battling inside a castle. It was pretty cool.
It
was
really
pretty cool.
was the coolest.
We had to pass down with dinners, school kind of thing, slide them down a table of 50 people. So it was
and there was the medieval music, and it was just, honestly, I was like, I know this place is haunted. I just know it.
100% is. 100% is that place.
And then
Lumley Castle, that's what it's called.
Okay, see, there we go.
I've been trying to think of it for 3 days, and I finally hey, I'm a big game player.
No, I love it. See, there we go. So Lumley Castle, and they do this cute little show. We did that together, and then when actually Neptune and I visited previously to Newcastle, you took us to the castle there, which is really cool and very spooky.
Yeah, it's much smaller though, because I think in the Newcastle Castle. That sounds weird. Is kind of just a small part of it now, almost the gate, and it's called the Black Gate.
Yeah.
And it's the bit of the prison that's left.
Yeah.
So it's quite deep, and it's basically just prison cells, and then there's a loose wall that goes around the city. So, there's a lot of haunted bits and bobs in Newcastle for sure.
Yeah, it's like when you go to England, you know, because America, we have Salem and some cool things like that, but we don't really have castles, you know? And so that's one of the things we've gotten to do together are a ton of castles. We've gone to Edinburgh together. I mean, I would say Neptune, we've all gone to so many castles together. So I think that's been a really cool thing that we've kind of done on the site of shooting.
Yes,
so,
for sure, yeah.
So that's been really cool. Now, speaking of creepy places, I know that you have traveled all over, but you've been to Loch Ness, and that's kind of my thing. I'm obsessed with Nessie. So what was that like? What did you get vibes or
I mean, I'm not as full on I'm a bit more skeptical, but I did get vibes for sure. I mean, it's because it's so vast.
Yeah. And
it's supposed to with Loch Ness to say that it's so there's I don't even know how many. There's a lot of lochs or lakes.
Yeah.
That's what everywhere else in the world calls them, other than Scotland.
I think loch sounds cooler.
I'm not gonna lie, it does. It does. Yeah. All the other lochs combined is the same amount of water as Loch Ness.
Yeah.
So that's how deep it is. And they think that they're all areas that flow out into the North Sea, which is why that is not always visible. Like, you might just go on a little holiday or something, I don't know, to Norway, who knows.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you go there, it's very, like, it's never particularly great weather, I'll be honest. It's always quite a gloomy place, but it's beautiful. Like, it's green, the water's super blue. It's just, I think it's the vastness of it. I think that's where you get the vibes from it.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like almost being in the sea. Yeah. That's how big the loch can be. So, I didn't do the whole boat going out. Because I couldn't get anyone else to do it. But mainly because it was so cold. Because it was like December when I went.
Oh, gosh, I can only imagine.
So it's like, you're talking like 0 degrees at all times. I mean, I know you get that here, for sure. But
but I mean, it's cold.
It's the wind that we get. And that's when it feels like minus whatever degrees. But yeah, it's you go all the little pubs around the area. There's like 2 little pubs and a hotel. I mean, I say a hotel, it's basically just like a pub with rooms.
Oh, I love it though.
Because everything in England and Scotland is a pub. And you kind of like, they have all the stories. You can ask them for days.
Oh my God,
They've got all the, I'd say literature, but it's not really literature. It's just people drawing things. Like, and they've just got old guys that have probably lived there for like their entire life.
They just embrace it.
They'll tell you everything. It's kind of like The Witcher, where they have all these fables and like the guy playing the little thing in the corner. It's very much like that, I'm honest.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. Like,
I
really
love
cool.
that. The gloominess probably adds to it.
100%
like,
does.
You go there and you're like, everything is like so picturesque because it's just already set up for like the perfect like.
Well, there's always people in there like diving. There's always teams diving, looking for anything they can. But I know it does cost a lot to do. But I know we mentioned that. I said that there's a charity thing that you can possibly do where if you raise money for charity, you can dive into Loch Ness. I think you've got to raise a lot of money, so hopefully...
that's my goal. Cause
hopefully the campus will help there. We'll get a live episode.
So that's my goal. Is I told him like I want to do diving. I want to get diving certified because it's always been my dream to like I don't know like just dive in cool places. And what better place than to do it than Loch Ness to like do? But then he told me about this charity, so I'll have to find the information for the charity and put it up for everybody. For sure. So in case you know someone who wants to dive or is diving, you guys can check it out. But that's cool as shit.
It's pretty cool. God, I'm doing well. I haven't swore yet. That's such a weird thing for me, isn't it? Being from Newcastle. But no, so but I've got some more spooky stories from Newcastle as well because we have a lot of witches have died in Newcastle. It was one of those very similar to Salem in the way that we had people hung for being witches, and there is a escape room based off the witches called the Hangman. And you've got an hour to get out before the guy comes in. And there's a literal guy that does come and scare the crap out of you. But when you look outside the window, you will find 3 or 4 graves of the witches that they said. So they're literally just there. They're almost like bumps in the ground. It's so crazy because you can it's just on the street.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so we do have bits in Newcastle as well, but whether they're not I don't think there's as much as Scotland, I must admit. I think Scotland's got a lot more. Yeah,
I just imagine with the escape room, it's like, the Goosebumps Tower Terror episode where he's like the executioner coming in. Like,
no, he does. And because there's also another one called The Plague Doctor, and there's a bit where... spoilers, you'll probably never go to Newcastle. But there's a bit where you're opening things just to find stuff out, and then you open a bit, and then he pops his head out with his big mask on and scares the hell out of you. Like, I remember I did it with our mutual friend Kesha, and she just did an expletive that I've never heard her shout that loud in my life. It just zoomed past us like a cat doing zoomies. It was hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I didn't even see it. I just heard it in my peripheral, and I was just like, what happened? What happened? And she was like, someone scared the hell out of us. I was like, really? Like, no one's in here. And yeah. So, but they take a photo of you when it happens as well. So you get like a little video kind of thing, which is really cool. Yeah. It's
like a roller coaster when you're like going down the hill and they have the photographs and that's amazing.
It's 100%. I think they do it so they can put on the website for like extra good ones. I think Kesha was on the verge of punching them, so yeah. So, yeah.
I love that. So you said like Scottish. Do you have any like good Scottish tales that you think are like that stuck with you, or?
I mean, half of my family are the size of Bigfoot, I suppose. So
that's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 6'3" and I'm one of the smaller ones in the family. So,
oh my God, what's that like?
my brother's smaller than me, so ask him, I suppose. But yeah, like 6'7", 6'8", a lot. Wow. Some of them, yeah. So But yeah, spooky stories. I mean, I'm a bit of a scaredy cat, so I'll probably try to avoid them like the plague, if I'm honest. Try to think what we got. Up north, where my gran and granddad used to live, in a place called Forfar, is kind of like a really older place. Like a lot of old people live there, and you do get a lot of spooky vibes there, if I'm honest. I've never heard of anything specific, but it's a very like eerie place. Like you almost see like the tumbleweed-esque kind of things going on. Like I mean, it's not a desert or anything. It's just normal streets, but you get that feeling that. Well, probably because a lot of people die there, because it's like a retirement village. So, you probably do get a lot of spirits around there. But yeah, not so much, because as I say, I do try to avoid it. Like I'm not as brave as you.
No.
Although I did, like the previous episode, I did go in the catacombs with you guys.
Yes.
And it was the one thing you didn't mention is it was the last one. It was the midnight showing, wasn't it, that we went to?
Yes.
So they have them all through the day.
Yes.
And we did the last showing where every little room you go to, they blow a candle out. Well, one of you has to blow the candle out.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So our previous episode where we were talking about our trip to Edinburgh, where we had like the weird thing where Neptune and we were all at, we went through the underground that caught on fire in Edinburgh from basically like the conditions of the time basically just made it horrible, and because of the conditions, the entire underground city where a lot of the I would say like the lower class lived,
100%,
were killed due to fires. And so it happened a couple times in Edinburgh. So that's why Edinburgh is very spooky, because it has so many like grisly, sad, tragic events that happened. And that sadness and those feelings, I feel like, and those emotions kind of linger there on the streets and underground. But we did the night walk at midnight through the catacomb, and I completely forgot about that.
Because one of you has to do it as well.
Yeah.
So like literally, it's already dark, because you can imagine. It's basically like being in a Saw film.
Yes.
Like, it's like, it is. It's like you're almost in a dungeon, because that's where they live. They lived in just brick walls.
Yeah.
And the crazy
thing, no light. There's nothing.
So it gets darker
and it's just
and
tunnels.
darker and darker and until the last bit.
I think I have pictures I'll have to post from where I was like going through, and I was trying to be a little brave and like go when people were trying to move on. I would like go to the room and take a snap and like hope to like see something.
I would totally recommend anyone going there.
Yes.
Because they do say Edinburgh is possibly the most haunted city. I don't know how
in the world.
I don't know how they can determine that, but it's going to certainly be one of them.
Yeah. Well, maybe because it has the most like tragic mass events between wars, the plagues, the tragic fires.
Well, without even the whole the fires. I mean, one of the things of the tunnels was that there was one end of the tunnels was the cemetery, and then there was the college.
Yeah.
So they used to body snatch a lot.
Oh, and Greyfriars Kirk.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
It's just a cool city.
I would 100% recommend.
Because we walked around quite a bit. We went to we passed the square where the woman was hung, but she lived, and so she went on to open up a pub there. I think the pub's named after her.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
I can't remember her name.
I think that's the pub that's got like a little cinema, like because it's got like because the thing is on that street. What people don't realize is they're all connected to each other via these catacombs.
Yes.
So you could actually go and see the other people, but I don't think anyone would want to. It's pretty crazy. But I would say probably that's definitely the spookiest thing I've done in Scotland.
I mean, even going to the castle, even though it wasn't creepy during the day, you just know that's just full of like.
Well, it overlooks the city, doesn't it?
And it's like, so cool. It's so cool.
It's huge.
It's so cool. I mean, there's been a king, I think, who released a cannon who was killed by a cannon there, I think. Yes. So it's just full of creepy shit, and honestly, it's one of the coolest cities ever because it looks old as shit, you know, and it's just it just has this cool like spooky like haunted city vibe for sure.
Well, I mean, the cool thing about it is as well is that it's kind of because not everyone's into the whole haunted thing.
Yes,
they have a lot of Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Witcher. Yeah. So generally, if you're a pop culture fan, you're gonna have the best time because you'll have a legitimate like witchy shop, like where they'll have actual like the little things that witches would use. Yes. But then they'll have Harry Potter ones at the other side of it. So it's pretty cool. In that
really
respect.
Is like you're like transported to Harry Potter. And thank you, Jay, because my husband just held up Maggie Dixon's Pub is the name of the woman who was hung, but because she was hung. and didn't die, they basically were like, oh, you still served your sentence because you were technically hung.
Yeah.
So she went on to live her life, which is awesome. So if you go to Edinburgh, there is a Maggie Dixon's pub that's like right outside of the area where they used to hang people. So I think that's like a little cool thing. But yeah.
No, it's Edinburgh's amazing.
But it is like Harry Potter, though. It really is.
Well, the film. A lot of those kind of films in the northeast of England, where I'm from, and in Scotland, because of just the epicness, and I think it's because it looks old.
Yeah, it looks so cool.
I know they filmed the recent Indiana Jones in Glasgow recently, but I was like trying to look out for it, so I couldn't work it out. Yeah. But it was in the street just because it looked like the 1970s.
Well, because it's cool as shit.
That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah.
I was like, it just looks old and rough.
Yeah, I'm a total like Scotland fangirl, though. I know. It's where I want to retire. I always tell him all the time. I'm like, so we keep thinking about buying a house over there. So keep an eye out, because I'm like, I just want to be like a sheep farmer and just live my best. She just wants
an animal sanctuary.
I really like just give me all of the. I don't even care. Just give them all to me. I just want to. I don't care. I just need it. And the cashmere. We like that.
Oh, there's a lot there. Yeah. And you get it in your tartan as well. So
yeah, so it's like, Scotland has like the creepy stuff, but they also have the cute stuff too.
Oh, they have a lot of cute stuff. I mean, because it's so cold, it's very a warm and cuddly kind of place. Like, you get a lot of the warm things there, and people like food and drink.
I mean, yes.
So, same as Newcastle.
I mean, honestly, one of my favorite places I've ever visited is just outside of Edinburgh. I think Jay and I went to go to Melville Castle before we met you, actually, at the castle. And we stayed at Melville Castle, and the people there were just so nice.
Yeah, they are very nice.
And we had our own creepy little experiences there. And everybody who was working at that castle just like, I had questions. I was like, okay, is this place haunted? And they were so kind. They were like telling me all the stories, and we walked around the grounds, and we saw where like Mary Queen of Scots like planted a tree with her lover, who was later killed at the palace.
Everyone died in Scotland.
I know, it's very tragic.
That's our monarchy generally. Everyone died of something like brutal at some point.
Yeah, I mean, you have Braveheart, William Wallace.
Yeah.
Us as Americans were like, hell yeah, like.
Well, the Hadrian's Wall is the wall that we built to keep the Scots out.
Yeah.
With William Wallace, and it's still a lot of it's still there.
Yeah, I think we passed it one time.
I mean, it's not as big as it used to be. It's like hip height. Yeah. But yeah. Because they were scary people.
I mean, how can you be mad about men, like manly men running around in kilts? I wouldn't be mad.
I've got my own kilt. I've got a family kilt.
I know, that's why we keep trying to get Jay to get one. Like, to get a kilt.
Yeah. God, ancestry's changing him.
I know.
He's a different man now.
But it's so great because, like, I think the fun thing is like, even if you're not like super, super into horror, there's like little aspects within like movie and cinema, real places that like kind of infuse elements of horror and like sci-fi. So it's like one of those things where I feel like, you don't have to be like super gung-ho horror everything to enjoy the aspects of certain things. So I think that's what's really cool, is that you've been such a trooper going to those things with us and like taking us to all these things and giving suggestions. And then one day I was telling him, I was like, okay, so here's these cool places that I found in like your hometown that I want to go to next time we go, because we always go to Coleman's, the fish shop, which is
#1 in the UK.
My word.
Plug.
Yeah, we're giving a plug right now.
Get advertisements, tips for life.
But no, for real, Coleman's, you took me there, and I dream about. I'm salivating right now.
Every Friday I go, yeah.
And they have another cute little shop that they opened along the beach, and you told me it's like so cute,
shaped like a ship as well, overlooks the beach. Yeah.
Why has it got to be so perfect?
I know, it is amazing.
But another cool place that I found was this place called Marsden Grotto, and I sent him this link, and I said, "What is this? Like, oh my god!" And it's like this cool like. They made it like, it was first like I don't know if they turned it into a mansion and then it turned into like a pub, but it's supposedly haunted. And I asked him if he's been, and you've been a few times.
I've been a lot. Like, I didn't realize it was haunted. Yeah. See, this is what happens with Erica. She likes to tell you things to make you spooky afterwards. And I'm like, I'm glad I've been a lot beforehand.
Yeah.
But it's essentially kind of, if you can imagine a cliff, there's like a little beach that it has. Sometimes it's not accessible because of the tide.
Yeah.
So literally, like, it's crazy that a place just shuts. Like, but it takes a lot of steps to get down there, but there is a pub at the bottom. It used to be a hotel, but now they've changed it into like rooms so people can have birthdays, etc. There,
that's precious.
Because when you're inside there, it's rocks. It's literally rocks.
It looks like a cave.
It's not. It is. It's a cave. So there's no bricks or like cement inside. In the inside, it's a cave.
Yeah.
But yes, that's got. I mean, it's still kind of spooky in a way because with it being in a cliffside, there's a lot of places where people do jump off.
Oh, bless.
Whether it be deliberately or people like a cliff dive off there.
Oh.
But the problem with the North Sea is it's very, very choppy.
Yeah.
So people quite often do it, even experienced, and don't make it back. So it'll have spooky people from that just because of where it is, you know.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of cliff divers around the world do try to do it, and there's not really any. There's
brave souls.
When I say there's a fence, I wouldn't even call it a fence. So it's quite easy to do if you wanted to do it, you know. But that overlooks where the grotto was. Which is just, the grotto part itself is this huge rock.
Yeah.
And it used to almost have like an archway until it eroded about 15 years ago, I would say. So yeah, it's a beautiful place, and also if you like dogs, there's always dogs on there.
Yeah, we all love dogs.
Yeah,
We're pro animal everything on this.
Yeah, for sure. You see that's where I live. There's dogs everywhere, so it's cool. And that's the reason why I've been, because I walk my dog on there.
Yeah, and it looks so cool. Like, when I found the picture, I was like, it almost reminded me of the movie House on Haunted Hill, because it's like the asylum built in, but it's not necessarily, but it just had those vibes for me.
No,
and I was like,
it 100% is. And I think the most eerie thing is the amount of birds that's on the cliffside. So when you look up, there's hundreds of, mainly seagulls.
Yeah.
Which I don't think particularly looks scary, but they are scary.
But aren't they mean?
They're horrible. They are. They're used to getting fish and chips on the daily, so they're hungry birds.
Oh, well, and they're spoiled birds if they're having Coleman's. Jeez,
hungry birds, we'll call them.
Yeah.
So like it is quite like spooky in that respect.
Yeah.
But it's also a great place for photo shoots. So
I know. I was like, that is. Yeah, we did. We shot Daenerys from Game of Thrones on one of the cliffs.
Just up the 5 minutes, just from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what a trooper! It was like -degrees.
Oh, it was so cold.
I was wearing a huge Barber jacket, and Erica was Daenerys, and asking me if I'm okay. That's how hardcore she is. And bear in mind, I live there, and I was like,
anything for the shot. Yeah, we actually ended up submitting that to Cosplay Culture magazine, and I'll have to post some of the pictures in this. But it was a very cold day. But I mean, where better to get a shot of Daenerys in that beautiful blue outfit than on an English cliff?
We literally had 5 minutes because the sun was
it was going down,
disappearing like nobody's business.
Yeah, but I feel like we've shot so many things together. We actually shot pictures in the haunted Airbnb that Neptune and I stayed in. Yes. So it's so funny. Like
Harry Potter based.
Yeah, we did. I did do a Harry Potter shoot then too. There's just so many things that I feel like it's fun because like I always was wondering that Beamish, is that what it was called?
Oh yes.
Is that haunted? It would feel like that looks haunted, but
I think the thing with Beamish is it's man-made.
Oh, so it's
it might not be.
Yeah.
But it's a place where it's been in the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Yes.
So you get around by getting the tram.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I loved it.
Like they have people that are there that like a dentist. Like it's basically they have like real streets, don't they? It's kind of like being in an English
like a
drama. Like an old like a
Do they film there?
A lot of people film there for period dramas. They're there a lot.
Yes.
And I think they're in the middle of building either the 60s or the 70s at the minute to kind of, because I'm guessing places like The Crown film there, like the TV show The Crown.
Yeah.
So I think as they're getting older, they're probably like, Beamish, we're gonna have to invest in you to build with you, you know.
Yeah.
But it's cool. You go like to a dentistry and there's a dentist there with these old tools.
And that's horror because holy shit, scary. When you see those old dentist tools, you're like.
A drill the size of your arm that goes into your mouth,
Yeah. It was so cool. That was one of my favorite things.
I would 100% recommend that. Is a really, and plus you pay once and you get the year for free.
Oh, see, I love that. That's where I got my votes for women little thing that's sitting in my office. I love that. I was like, oh, it's so precious. But yeah, I mean, it's so exciting because I know we'll end up going to Edinburgh again with you. I know we've already been talking about like let's meet in Dublin. Let's go to Amsterdam.
Dublin's got some haunted places.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I haven't been to Dublin many times, but I know it's
so the next episode we do is our trip after Dublin so we can talk about it because I'm so excited. But yeah, this has been awesome. Oh my gosh. So I just want to say, this is like flown by already. I'm like, holy cow.
I can talk.
So thanks for coming on and talking about like Newcastle, English goats, and all that good stuff. It's been awesome because I'm like obsessed with it. And as soon as I was like, will you come on? You were like, yes. I was like, oh my God, yes. But I would say if anybody wants to check out your work, you've worked with some amazing models over the year. You've worked with Neptune, Rhea. You've worked with so many Suicide Girls, so many other models, pinup, boudoir, cosplay, everything. Yep. So for anybody who wants to check out your work, your socials?
It's Elite Online Mag, all one word, everywhere.
Yeah.
Just because it's simple, and I'm a simple man.
Yeah, I love that. I'll make sure to post them for anybody who wants to check it out in the comments. I'll tag you and everything too, so everybody can find it easily.
Awesome.
But yeah, I just want to thank you for coming on, Fraser.
Thank
it's
you,
been awesome.
and just keep supporting Erica. I'm just going to take over the podcast today. To support Erica. She's the best. She is the best.
No, he's the best. Like literally, he's the best. Like it's a blessing to meet amazing people, and you're an amazing person.
The feeling's mutual.
Much. I love what you did there.
See to remember the start of the pod.
I did. I love it. I know. People will be like, "Oh, clever."
It's just to get people to listen to the pod.
They're like, "Wait. What did we miss?"
Get the views up.
I love that. So thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. If you want to check out Fraser stuff, I'll link everything in the bottom for everybody to see. Also, make sure if you have any creepy stories from any of the areas we talked about with Edinburgh, South Shields, Newcastle, anywhere like that, and you'd like to add your own little creepy thing, you can go to Camp Cryptid Podcast, horrorpodcast.com, and I'll link that as well in the bottom, and you can contact me on there, and we can read all your spooky stories and add them for future episodes, which would be super, super cool. Make sure to follow on Twitter and give us a subscribe. And thanks again for listening, everybody. I'm so excited to be doing these little video things when I can. So It's been really awesome to add that element into Camp Cryptid. So thanks again for listening, everyone. And I hope you have a great day. And bye.